Hello guys, welcome to one more tutorial of Code Surfers. Today we'll keep learning on how to create a camera app with Flutter, and for that I'll explain you how to get the available cameras of the phone and how to initialize and dispose them. So in the beginning we'll start by changing the name of these classes because it doesn't make sense. So you can go to refactor, rename, and you'll call it camera app, so it makes more sense. Just refactor it and it changes where it should, you see. This home page class will also change it to camera screen, for example. Perfect. And as you can see, it's always changed the names. Even the name of the state, it also changed. So perfect. And now we'll start by getting the available cameras on the smartphone. And for that, we need to change this main method. It will be async because we'll make an asynchronous. We'll call an asynchronous method, and for that we'll get the cameras of the phone, and we need to make the await call because we need to wait for the return of this method. This is going to get us the available cameras on the phone, and now we can run app, and we'll run the camera app. Perfect. The available cameras is like this with an error because we need to import the camera Flutter package, and for that you'll open the terminal, you'll make Flutter pub add camera, that is the name of the package. Perfect, and now we'll make Flutter pub get in order for it to get the package. That's it. Perfect. Okay, now we need to import we need to make the import of the package. Just package camera.dart. Perfect. You see, no error anymore. Okay, we have this camera, so we need to pass the cameras to our widget, to the camera app, in order for it to have access to the cameras. So we'll just make cameras and we'll pass the cameras object. Okay, we need also to make sure that the widget was already initialized in order to call this method. So we'll just make a call to ensure initialized. Perfect. And now on the camera, we need to save a final list of camera descriptions. This is where we are going to save our cameras. Description, and we can call it cameras because we can get rid of this const because it doesn't make sense. And now we'll create other const because now it's a bit different. We'll just add here a key and then a required parameter that is the cameras of the phone. Now I just make super key. Okay, perfect. Now we'll call here the camera screen with the title. This is looking perfect. We just need to change here to add also the cameras object because we'll need it also in the other widget. And I'm going to copy this for the state widget because we also need it here. Essentially the const will be the same, but we need to change the name to camera screen. Get rid of this. Here we are with an error here because it's missing the required title that we are passing also in here, Perfect. Okay, here we have to remove the const in order for it to not be null. Okay, perfect. And now let's go into the camera screen. We are initializing the camera screen state, and now we'll need to make some changes here. So now we'll need some variables in order to initialize the camera. So we'll make a late camera control, and I'm using a late because the value is going to be defined later. So it says that we are going to wait for this value, and for that I'm going to create a future void because it's like a future function, and I'm going to call it initialize controller future. And then we'll have a boolean in order to tell us if the camera is ready or not. So it will start with a false value, and this is not a late because we are already initializing it. And I'm also going to save the camera index that we are using. So for example, if it's the back camera, we'll start with 0. If it's the front camera, we'll start with 1. Now we need to initialize the state. For that, I'm going to make the init state method. We'll add an override here. Override, perfect. And here we are going to make the super.init state. And now we are going to initialize our controller. So now we are going to initialize the camera. So CameraController, and now we'll make the widget.cameras. So we are accessing the cameras on the position selected camera. So if it's a 0, it's the back camera. If it's a 1, it's the front camera. And our resolution will be ResolutionPreset.medium. Yeah, medium is okay, I guess. Okay, perfect. Now we also need to define the initialize controller future. So essentially we are initializing those variables that we defined. And this is going to be the controller dot initialize, because we are going to initialize the controller. And after that, so then we'll just make something. We'll just set our state in order to say that our camera is ready. So we'll put our is camera ready variable to true. And we need to make this set state because as we are changing a variable of a stateful of a state widget, we need to make a set state. So in order that the widget will be refreshed when we are changing this variable. Okay, perfect. After that, we'll also override another method. In this case, we are going to override the dispose. And the dispose method is essentially when your widget is going to be unmounted, we need to do some things. And essentially, we need to dispose our controller. So in order that the camera is not being used anymore and is not like spending resources or so. Okay, perfect. Done. So that's it for today's video, guys. But stay tuned because on the next video, I'm going to explain you how to change the user interface so that the user can already see the camera preview. And I'll also explain you how to take a picture. Bye, guys.